Quinn here to tell you about the night my family understood everything. I always felt like an outsider looking for a home. I was excited to celebrate my sister's wedding, smile for the cameras, and be the wonderful daughter I always was. From the time I entered, I felt uneasy. I realized my place in the world, feeling excluded, shoved aside behind the coat racks, not at the family table or in the main hall. Initially, I thought it was a misunderstanding. It was completely different, heartfelt message, a message that made people feel insignificant but revealed the implications of long-term neglect. They eventually discovered the courage to be themselves and stop conforming. I made a life-changing decision that night. What followed? Well, that surprised everyone. I pulled into the venue parking lot with my fists clasped around the steering wheel, nervous and excited. A beautiful ballroom in the heart of Chicago with sparkling chandeliers, gorgeous marble flooring, and floral arrangements that appeared to convey stories of love and celebration, each petal a reminder of the beauty of life despite our challenges. Every detail of the wedding was lavish, yet I felt like a shadow. After gathering my thoughts, I opened the car door and walked out, delicately arranging my navy blue dress to face the world. I never meant to cause trouble. Moment isn't about my path. It was Odessa's special day, and I had accepted that I wasn't her favorite sibling. I never expected them to bring it up so publicly and painfully. As I entered, a wedding planner with a bright smile greeted me at the check-in table, her warmth contrasting with my emotional turmoil. "Your name?" She spoke with room-filling lightness. "Quinn, dear." My voice was calm. Quinn Hathaway. Her smile briefly wavered. She changed the seating chart pages, breaking my heart. A brief feeling crossed her face, compassion. I recognized that saying too well. I hated the appearance. "Oh, there you are," she whispered as she handed me a small place card, showing warmth. "You're sitting here." She hesitated and pointed to a passage outside the exquisite ballroom, a silent invitation to escape the noise and breathe. I frowned. "You just said what?" Despite her heartache, she smiled again. "Your table awaits you beyond the main reception area for gathering and sharing." My gaze moved to the enormous seating chart beside her, silently seeing our feelings. My dear parents, Linda and Robert Hathaway, sat at the front, comforting the bride and groom. Odessa's closest friends, Eric's distant cousins, and even his coworker's girlfriend joined the support circle. My name was gone. Looking back over the planner, I felt hopeful and uncertain. This can't be right. Her smile sank. "Fortunately, you've been assigned that seat." A lovely warmth grew within me, not even at a ballroom table, far away. No, they shoved me into the corridor, making me feel like a forgotten byproduct of their lives, as if my role had always been symbolic rather than heartfelt, rather than family love. However, I held on to a tenuous hope that this was a misunderstanding. Perhaps my mother was involved in this story. I saw her standing with Odessa, smiling as she touched up her dress. From across the room, a light seemed to encircle my sister, enveloping her in beauty and love. Savannah looked at me with a cheeky grin. That sneer disclosed unspoken truths, echoing emotional secrets we keep inside. I forced myself to proceed. I spoke gently. "Mom, can we talk?" Little did Linda notice me. "It's not the proper time, sweetheart. Can't you see we're busy?" I said it would just take a moment, my voice strained with unsaid emotions. She sighed in exasperation and understanding and resigned. Savannah remained silent, as if caught in a moment of unspoken words. She stood with a knowing smile. "Just look that seat," I whispered. "It awaits in the hallway." Linda sighed softly, her breath carrying unspoken feelings. "Sloan, we should focus on our closest family members at the primary tables." A sense of weight settled over me when I blinked. "Close relatives? My family is always there, through thick and thin." Linda laughed strainedly, as if my remarks were ludicrous. "Oh, my love, let's retreat and breathe," Savannah finally spoke. "Did they mistakenly take your seat? What a horrible situation." Her speech was insincere, hiding her actual feelings. The emotional roller coaster of wedding planning is hard to express. Our hectic lives make it easy to miss the important times. Her eyes gleamed with warmth that permeated the room, reminding us of the simple joys in life. Now she understood. This was no accident. I regarded my mother. "Mom, do you think it's okay for me to sit alone outside the reception hall?" Linda sighed, her eyes showing fatigue from the discourse. Sloan, don't let this bother you. Today is a special and warm day in Odessa. Enjoy your presence now. Feeling grateful, my throat held the terrible truth, unspoken. I'm trying to find thankfulness in the hurt of feeling like a second-class guest at my sister's wedding, accept the lessons from being rejected and ignored. I took a breath, ready to speak, but my father, Robert, always passive and avoidant, eventually spoke. It's just sitting, my dear, he murmured, looking away. Keep this moment and treasure it together. That was it. He said everything he needed. I kept quiet to let the moment linger. What was the point? A soft voice broke the silence, releasing unspoken feelings. That setting is unusual, right? I looked up and spotted Eric's mother, Catherine, holding a glass of champagne. Her eyes briefly wandered to Odessa before returning to me, her face a painting of unspoken emotions. A wave of tension hit Savannah. Linda's rehearsed, friendly grin hid her distress. Catherine, you know how difficult wedding planning is. Our hearts went into making everyone feel included. Her heart heavy with doubt, Catherine hummed. She stared at me as if looking for hidden secrets. I didn't know what it meant, but I couldn't look away from her eyes. Savannah softly interlaced her arm with my mother's, steering the conversation in a new direction with soothing and essential grace. Mom, we should check on the cake before the reception. That moment felt like being cast aside. The ballroom engulfed me in laughing, the gentle clinking of glasses echoing like beloved memories, and the music aroused the heart. A remote gathering where I felt like a spectator, wishing to join. Despite being present, I felt excluded. My heart raced as I went left, not toward my table or the passageway. I clutched the place card, staring at my name's lovely curves and remembering my voyage. I slowly flipped it over, feeling the weight of memories, then turned it again and placed it on the tray, as if releasing something precious and heavy. If they thought I would accept this, they underestimated my strength and perseverance. In the dimly lighted hallway, my back rests against the cold wall and my fingers clasp my clothing as a rush of emotions sweeps over me. Laughter, gentle glass clinking, and distant music float from the huge ballroom, a bustling world that always seemed out of reach. Soloing has long been my experience. This time, humiliation hurts deeper, like an old wound being reopened, releasing long-buried feelings. This was no accident. I felt inferior, like I didn't belong. Despite all odds, they succeeded. I sensed more pain, a reminder of this moment and years of feeling like the one left behind, never noticed. My thoughts softly pull me back into the past before I can stop them. 3 years ago, I was at my parents' house, sorting through my bedroom memories. It was too long since I last entered those familiar doors, and I missed them. Dust accumulated in the corners, my childhood books unread, and the framed high school and college photos on the wall, a reminder of all before I lost my way. I wandered, not looking for anything in particular, while my mother worked hard to prepare an elaborate dinner for Odessa's arrival. Odessa was always central. As I looked at it, everything changed. My mother's nightstand holds a little leather journal with her thoughts and memories. Considering the uncertainties, I hesitated. Despite its concealment, a sense of significance tugged at my heart, encouraging me to expose it. Treasured memories, passionate notes, and insightful thoughts await. Odessa's heart tells stories of love, loss, and healing. Each moment shows family resilience, as each hardship deepens understanding. Odessa's soul-nourishing nature reminds us that even in the darkest times, there's always a road to light and connection. Every birthday, achievement, struggle, favorite meal, childhood buddy names, and even gifts that gave true delight alongside those she feigned to appreciate out of kindness were recognized. Slowly turning the pages, I searched for a glimpse of myself, my story, in these words. The silence left a gaping hole where her other daughters should have been honored. No murmur, fleeting thought, or note to remember her. It was as she never existed, leaving a heart full of unspoken words and unsolved feelings. I felt like I had vanished, forgotten, and unappreciated. I remember standing there, holding the notebook so hard that my hands throbbed. A lifetime of uncertainty, finally expressed in powerful words. My mother entered the room with an unreadable expression, a quiet between us. Your independence has always been strong, sweetie. I feel deeply concerned for Odessa. Unlike you, it seemed like a kind gesture, but it failed, as if something could erase years of quiet and unspoken hurt. She worked hard to capture every detail of Odessa, but it seemed like none of our joint experience was worth remembering. I realized then that I had always felt very alone in this household. Odessa's laughing breaks the silence, reminding me of our shared moments. Even now, that old journal weighs me down. I gaze at my table and feel its unfairness, smallness, and lingering hurt. They made it plain where they saw me. Pulling away from the wall, I breathed deeply to gain strength. If my family thought I was an outsider, maybe I should accept that and choose my own path. As I approach the ballroom, I inhale, anticipating and uncertain. I spot Eric as I approach the doorway. He clutches a glass of whiskey like it holds his unspoken thoughts as he stands silently by the bar. He can't force himself to drink. His eyes travel around the gathering, laden with unspoken emotions, not expressing the excitement of a man who has found his love. Instead, they are stopped in a moment, their hearts heavy with hesitancy towards something or someone that stirs profound feelings. They then look at me. He breathes deeply and slowly before leaving the counter and approaching me. Sloan. His speech is calm, yet an underlying weight persists. An unspoken query makes me raise my eyebrow. Eric, dear, that brief stillness is laden with unspoken words. The wedding is a joyous celebration as we manage hidden emotions. The room is filled with excitement as loved ones celebrate life's moments with clinking glasses and laughing. A gathering that appears healthy, yet its roots are slowly withering. Eric moves with a warm whiskey glass in his palm, looking over his shoulder. Savannah stands on the far side of the room, transfixed by her own beauty. I see strain in his jaw when he looks at me. It returned again, pause in the air, persistent uncertainty. Sloan, this time he speaks softly. May I discuss something because we haven't talked much? I softly tilt my head to let my thoughts settle in the silence. It depends on the situation and feelings. Is this a sincere love and commitment conversation or something deeper? His gravity dims his smile. It seems there's no effort to lie. Change is deep within me. Eric sighs and touches his temple, as if holding unspoken regrets. Does your sister ever talk about me differently without me? A moment of great significance stands before us. That one query. That moment when Savannah's delicate mask slips, revealing her true emotions. For a moment, I consider lying. Perhaps it comes from a misguided attempt to protect those we love. Perhaps telling the truth in this scenario is risky. But then I consider my seat assignment. I remember Odessa's smirk, a bittersweet reminder of our shared times and complex relationship. I still carry my mother's rejection. I recall the person. I glance at his whiskey glass, consider taking a break to enjoy that first sip. A surge of tension hits Eric. He brings the glass to his lips and empties it quickly, emptying his feelings into that instant. I whisper, Eric, it appears you may not understand Savannah as well as you think. He clenches his jaw, expressing his wordless emotions. I feared that greatly. The quiet engulfs us like a fog. His voice softens as he admits that she has been acting differently, expressing deep concern, overbearing. Sometimes she wants to hide from me. Unease turns my stomach. Naturally, Catherine enters as I think. She approaches with an apprehensive look, but her eyes reveal a depth of feeling that breaks the quiet, stopping to think. Odessa was in the company of her new mother-in-law, whose strength and influence filled the room, making her conscious of her role in this family dynamic. Catherine pauses before Eric, briefly looking at me before settling on him. Her words are gentle. I think you should look at this. She holds out her phone, a nonverbal invitation full of emotions. Eric scrolls hesitantly, his countenance changing from surprise to understanding to deep, uncomfortable sorrow. Heartfelt Odessa messages. To her dear pals, she trusted her stylist. To those who shouldn't know her emotions, she feels heavy and broken inside. The hurtful messages strike deep. Savannah scolds Catherine. Describe her as bossy and controlling, a wealthy older woman who appears to think her money gives her the right to dominate my life when all I want is for her to step back and let me find my own way. Savannah considers her friendship with Eric how she is helping him become her ideal spouse. He'll do whatever to meet her request to prove he can overcome his father's legacy. Then came the hardest part. Savannah giggles about the simplicity she expects from her marriage. Eric's family is wealthy, so she just needs to do her job till she's done. Eric grips the phone, emotions rushing over him. Catherine gazes at him tenderly, her heart burdened with unspoken words. Eric, your girlfriend has more than a problem with me. She pauses, her voice calm but piercing like glass. She may have had unrealistic expectations for your future and guided you in ways that weren't authentic to you. Eric softly sways as if the ground beneath him has trembled, revealing his heart's deep fractures. I stay silent since this moment belongs to someone else. He owns this. I can only watch his face go from uncertainty to intense frustration. Though the wedding is coming, its bonds are beginning to strain. The wedding may be ongoing, but the family meeting afterward will change their lives. I watch as we are softly ushered into a secluded lounge, our bodies mirroring the undeclared emotions. The atmosphere is heavy, stirring deep emotions and upsetting your skin. Savannah stands at the center of the chaos, appearing calm or fearless for everyone. Catherine stands near the entryway with her arms crossed and lips pressed together, revealing hidden emotions. Eric stands at the bar, his shoulders stiff with unspoken tensions, and the whiskey in front of him untouched. As usual, Vivian speaks first, comforts first, and justifies first. This is all just a misunderstanding, she replies, trembling and smiling tentatively. Feelings are strong. It celebrates love and unites hearts. Catherine interrupts her. Let's not let family strife define us. Is the family stressed? Her voice resonates, her stare intensifies. Vivienne, this is beyond stress. This is awakening. Savannah sneers bitterly, folding her arms over her gorgeous robe to disguise her emotions. Is this why you gathered us? She turns to Eric, her beautiful speech masking her true feelings. Tell me you can't believe this, darling. Eric is silent. He's avoiding her eyes. Vivienne softly touches his arm, speaking with compassion. Eric, my love, you must understand this. Savannah has a hefty load. Wedding planning may be stressful. When hurt or frustrated, words can slip out, causing accidental pain. Catherine's lips twitch with emotion. Her sincerity in wanting power over him was intriguing. Odessa tensely prepares to respond, but Robert's voice breaks the silence. Please, Vivian, stop. The words are mild, but they ring through the silence like a shock. The moment surprises my mother, who turns with wide eyes. My father rarely speaks or intervenes. What about tonight? Change begins tonight. You've always been there for Savannah, he continues, his voice full of hidden feelings and familiar yet strange. See how it shaped her. Savannah gasps and opens her eyes in surprise as a rush of emotion sweeps over her. Father, really supporting her. Robert ignores her to focus on me. Quinn always knew the truth from within. Mellow words echo in my heart. My throat catches air. My mother withdraws, tensing in silent sorrow. My father chooses me for the first time. Vivian shakes her head, laughing nervously as if in a weird situation. Let's not be silly, Robert. Savannah has lied extensively. Eric speaks before thinking. His voice shakes as if he's suddenly accepting that he's been living with someone he hardly knows. Savannah's face discolors. Sorry, could you repeat that? I tentatively approach my mother, hopeful but uneasy. She should understand the significance of this occasion. I want her to grasp its weight. I murmur, Mom, you may lose more than me if you keep protecting her. First time, Vivian hesitates. Savannah notices. At that point, she panics. Her voice trembles, showing weakness. Are they truly rejecting me because of her? Catherine breathes deeply and savors her drink before sharing the heartbreaking truth. After learning the truth about you, we're separating from you. Savannah tenses, shivering as she attempts to catch her breath, her eyes darting from familiar face to familiar face. Her reins have always been tight, but now they feel different. Savannah fights for her place in the world, unwilling to slip away without a fight. The private salon is packed with unspoken thoughts and feelings, producing nearly physical tension. The area seems heavy with silence, as if the air is holding its breath, waiting to release the unspoken words just beneath the surface. Savannah remains immobile, gasping in tiny breaths, her fingers grasping her gown so tightly that the seams seem to protest her struggle. Her problems drag her down, a silent acknowledgement that things are slipping away. Vivian securely grabs her daughter's arm, whispering urgently and longingly, "Please, Odessa, pause!" Savannah perseveres. Inability is her feeling. Can't bring herself to. Eric is silent across the room, thinking deeply. His quiet clouds Odessa's precious tranquility, which she has worked so hard to achieve. I can see his doubt in his stare as he promises my sister a lifetime. Chill and repulsion accompany doubt. I suppress a glimmer of satisfaction, reluctant to let it out. Our trip is far from over. Savannah takes a long breath and stares at me intently. "Do you think you know everything?" Her voice is calm, but a slight tremble shows her feelings. We exchange silent understanding through our gaze. "I don't need to think, Odessa. My heart knows." Her lips curve without a smile. It's heavy and fragile, almost eerie. "Your jealousy of me seems to have persisted." The claim is so absurd and anticipated that I almost laugh. So close, instead I tilt my head softly. "Feeling jealous? You mean what? Isn't it sad that some lie and play games to stay close?" I gesture to Eric, pleading for understanding. To Catherine, our parents, Odessa, observe. Your world seems to be closing in. Her jaw tightens with unspoken feelings. And then I take the final step, ready for what's next. I say, "You handled this well," my voice steady but full of emotions. "You seem to have overlooked something. I see the truth within you." Savannah recoils, her heart racing. It's delicate but real. Trembling, Vivienne breathes deeply. She knows my statements are true. My voice is calm but firm as I approach. "I understand your challenges, messages, and remarks concerning your life partner." I glance at Eric. "Your remarks about his family." A surge of tension hits Eric. Odessa pales as emotion overwhelms her. Then, at a vulnerable and meaningful moment, my mother first reaches out to me with a yearning voice. Vivian turns, her gaze surprised and vulnerable, her palms quivering from unspoken feelings. "Sloanen," she calls. "Always your sister." Still time to reconsider this approach. It was quiet for a moment. I pause for a moment, not because I feel sorry for Odessa, but because my mother has never looked at me so deeply. She seems to depend on me. Her heart feels heavy with fear. However, skepticism fades fast. If the situation were reversed, Savannah would act without hesitation, in my opinion. She finally breaks and shows her true nature. Are they truly rejecting me because of her? Odessa's voice trembles and her hands shake. After so long with unresolved emotions, she seems to have always kept that against me. It stings to think you would trust her above your daughter. Catherine takes a deep breath and raises her glass to her lips. A moment of silence before she says the words that change everything. "After learning the truth about you, we're separating from you." In the hush, the words rang heavy. Odessa parted her lips, then gently reconnected. She looks at Eric, her last hope of regaining control. As she reaches for him, her voice shakes. "Do their claims convince you?" Eric is silent. That silence, does it speak volumes? The ending is devastating. Panic grips Odessa, causing her breath to catch. Then, everything changed. She moved abruptly, emotional, but Catherine stopped her. "This time, I'll resist." I remain firm as Odessa's wild hand approaches, feeling peaceful. I can stay here. No longer in hiding, I stand tall. Because we're clearly divided now, I now have courage. All in this room know Savannah is battling to hold it together. Her hand cuts through the air, expressing raw passion and pleading for understanding. Catherine interrupts our connection immediately before it happens. Savannah collides with her, gasping. Her impulsivity puts her off balance, causing her to stumble into the ballroom. Now, the truth is revealed. The music stops abruptly. Conversations end as they watch the Odessa show. Every reception attendee feels the weight of the situation. She felt overwhelmed by the day's demands. Her wrath makes her familiar features seem exotic, reflecting her grief. As she blinks, the moment sinks in and she understands her battle, formerly hidden, has now touched others' hearts. It's tragic. A gentle whisper carries unsaid feelings through the ballroom. Gentle murmurs flood the air, eyes wide in surprise and comprehension. Others stare intently while others glance. Eric stands near the bar in silence, watching the events unfold. Savannah looks at him, frantic. You are my partner, love, and everything, her weak voice shakes. I need your support. Eric breathes deeply, feeling the weight of the situation. The fatigue on his face reveals silent suffering. It seems I never understood you. The words weigh her down, reminding her of her burden. Savannah sways, her breath seizing in her throat, shaking her head in amazement, her emotions spinning. You couldn't mean that. You care about me. However, Eric's eyes seem empty now. No anger or disappointment, just quiet acceptance. This journey is over. He quietly pulls a little package from his jacket pocket. In a moment of unsaid emotions, my throat catches air. Maybe I know what it is, Savannah agrees. Her face becomes cold and doubtful. What's up? What may that be? Eric keeps his gaze fixed. The annulment papers arrived. Guest hearts catch a shared breath. Vinay Barrett and a chapter. Losing the ideal facade she spent so much time crafting. Odessa shakes her hands gently, staring at the packet. Did you plan this ahead? Catherine takes a deep breath, hugging herself, her voice shaking with wordless pain. He always did. Despite her trembling lips, Odessa is silent, thinking. Catherine then reveals the heartbreaking reality. From the beginning, you were supposed to follow a different road than ours. Savannah steps back, heart heavy as everything she knows crumbles. Her journey continues. Savannah lost her marriage, but she has a strong spirit. Restoration. Her chest rises and falls in fast, irregular gasps, her flawlessly curled hair slightly out of place, and her hands tremble at her sides, conveying unspoken feelings. Our trip is far from over. It wasn't for her. She won't let this happen. Her emotions swirl as she spins to face our mother. Mom, her voice is sweet and vulnerable as she begs, you know we don't want to face this reality. They seem determined to break me down. Linda pauses, uncertain. She definitely does. She has spent years rebuilding Odessa's life and forgiving her mistakes. My mom's lips shake as she looks between her daughters, overwhelmed with unsaid feelings. The one she's always protected and frequently ignored. Oh, Odessa! Her voice shakes with uncertainty. Savannah welcomes the moment. She fiercely holds Linda's hand against her heart as if to express her emotions in a heavy and poignant moment. Mother, you know me well. My love for Eric is deep. That would never work for me. Wait a moment. The voice is chilling, reflecting our growing distance. End of chapter. Eric, dear. He holds a stack of papers with nicely matched corners and stapled at the top, as if they hold unspoken words and unresolved feelings. His expression is blank, yet his grip is firm. Savannah remains still, her heart beating as the moment overwhelms her. Catherine advances, her look intense and unsaid. Go on, Eric, she whispers. Pause to read it. Eric's jaw hardens, a silent wrath rising. He speaks with an uncomfortable calm. Savannah Hathaway. Visiting a divorce attorney a month before the wedding was a difficult decision. Guests in the ballroom gasp in amazement. I'm heartbroken because I never thought it could hurt this much. Eric never gives up. You were planning to leave me, he adds, each word heavy with emotion, lingering like a bitter fact that can't be denied. When you took over my finances, even though the paper in his hands tremors, his voice is calm. Savannah's face pales. That's wrong. Catherine laughs softly, her eyes showing disappointment and understanding. Please don't suffer that, sweetheart. She delicately tilts her head, expressing unspoken sentiments. That legal document contains the truth. Odessa's confidence crumbles, leaving her defenseless and lost. The room spins around her, the moment slipping away like sand, leaving her bewildered and wanting something to grab onto. Eric draws closer, silent words hanging in the air. Was anything ever real, Odessa? His voice is exhausted, not angry. Did you ever love me? Was I only an exhibition of your desires? Odessa's lips twitch with emotion. Her eyes searched the room in hushed desperation for a familiar face to comfort her. She turned toward me instinctively. This is all your fault, she shouts. her voice shaking and her words hanging in the air. It seems like you've carried this jealousy for so long. The familiar, weary accusation lingers in the air. For the first time, I feel a sense of freedom I never believed imaginable. I refuse the bait. I look at her, my heart heavy, and reply, "No, Odessa, this isn't my fault. I can't give her what she wants." She recoils. "This is who you always were." I move forward, feeling the weight of the situation. I speak gently or not. Sometimes I feel like our experiences are recalled differently. Your words don't match your actions. You keep drawing from our connection without giving back. In times of turmoil, it's easier to blame others than look within. Linda inhales sharply, as if she's finally facing the truth that's eluded her. Savannah shakes her head in frustration and sorrow, trying to shake off the weight of unspoken words and unresolved feelings. But Linda stays still. Mom, help her realize the reality. As she stares, Odessa realizes that quiet hurts more than any harsh comment. She steps back, filled with understanding. Savannah surveys the room, longing for a familiar face to comfort her in this difficult time, but for the first time, she feels completely alone. As her decisions weigh on her, Savannah realizes there is only one way to achieve peace: fade away. But first, she must gather her strength to fight. Under the bright ballroom lights, her blush fades as she gasps for breath and searches the room for a familiar face. Everyone to support her unwaveringly. For the first time in her life, she feels completely alone. The visitors remain still, looking disbelieving and emotional. Some whisper their thoughts behind their palms. Others walk away, reluctant to meet the stare that conveys so much unspoken emotion. Even Linda, her constant supporter, remains silent. Savannah steps back, her perfectly manicured nails digging into her palms as a flood of emotion washes over her. She laughs softly, breaking the tension and filling the area with warmth. It feels bitter. She scoffs, her voice shaking with hidden thoughts. Despite her problems, she has always sought to lead things her way. "Please wait. Without me, you may struggle to find your way." Silence fills the room, leaving an aching emptiness where responses should be. Nobody interrupts her, so she clenches her jaw and shakes her head as if urgently trying to change the moment. Then our eyes meet. Savannah feels little for the first time as I come forward with hope. It's not about being apologetic or harsh. It's about her needing to comprehend this. "You spent your life making me feel unnoticed," I say, calmly, but look around, Odessa. I see her throat tremble and her breath catch in her chest. "You appear to have gone from everyone's perspective." She blinks, a moment of silence sweeping over her as emotions swirl within. A part of her breaks open. After pushing it away, she buries it deep inside and steps back, smiling gently as she shakes her head and laughs again. But it feels like there's an emptiness beneath the surface. "No thanks. You don't have the right to do this," she adds, shaking with passion. "This isn't your time to shine as our story's hero." She remained confused. "This is more than a story, Odessa. We must accept this." She opens her mouth but is silent. She looks to our mother for consolation. Linda clutches herself, her lips barely parted, her face etched with grief, her eyes glistening with tears. Not for Odessa. My path isn't right for what she allowed to happen and what Savannah became. She looks at me for the first time in years in a way that stirs something deep inside. I can tell she understands. Our choices and their consequences hurt deeply. Now it feels like the moment has passed and I can't stand to see what follows next. I take a big breath and face the door. No grave statements or glances back. A moment of calm and a hefty choice. I push open the grand ballroom doors, feeling the weight of the moment as I step into the cool embrace of the night air. The chill seeps into my being, a bittersweet reminder that sometimes the sharpness of life can also bring renewal. As I stand there gazing at the city lights that twinkle like distant stars beyond the courtyard, a wave of emotion washes over me. A week has passed since the wedding, and I still feel the echoes of the past. But I've learned that not every story needs a neat finish. A week has passed since I left them all behind, frozen in place, struggling with the silence and uncertainty of life without me. The aftermath unfolded quickly, I feel heavy as I scroll through my phone's missed calls and unread messages, each one a reminder of broken connections. Many came from my mother, making me remorseful and guarded. Linda Hathaway has always struggled to let go and dwell in a state where her affirmation no longer defines her. What about Odessa? Quiet moments linger. Social media posts, secret messages, and idealized lives are absent. Her life disappeared like a once revered queen whose narrative is softly obliterated from history. But the family group chat was still there, full of shared experiences, laughter, and old ties. Simply without me, I should feel this agony and appreciate being left out. But I can't. For the first time, I feel liberated from a place that never fully accepted me. It's a moment of clarity that helps me discover my path and heal from the past. That evening, the phone rings, interrupting the stillness. I let it ring twice before answering. Linda's voice trembles with apprehension. I know I've made mistakes, she adds, speaking with unsaid apologies, as if it could ever be that simple. As she shakily breathed, I remained silent, feeling confused and unsure of how to resolve the problem. I softly rest my eyes on my couch, letting the world melt away for a time. Everything is perfect. Some wounds remain open, possibly by design. But I don't say anything. She lingers as if she wants me to say anything, but I can't bring myself to do it. She eventually understands. As the night progresses, I receive a message that goes beyond a voicemail. The family gathered around the table, the smell of the meal filling the air, each dish a reminder of shared moments and unspoken words. It was more than just dinner. It was a chance to reconnect, heal old wounds, and embrace the warmth of togetherness. For the first time, I consider the power of saying no, not out of anger. Now I find power within myself and no longer want their praise. I stare at the message, experiencing a mix of feelings. Carrying it all, I realize that this path is no longer about their choice of me. Embracing my own path, I walk through my flats, stopping at the little bookshelf by the window, where memories linger in each book and old photos hold laughter and sorrow in the corners. I gingerly grab for a prized Christmas photo from years ago. Savannah is at the center, her light shining brilliantly. Linda stands by her, softly resting her hand on her shoulder. What about me? On the periphery, whispering of what may have been. After carefully placing it down, I let go of the weight I was carrying and move closer to the window to let the night's silence embrace me. The city is huge and bustling, full of optimism and fresh beginnings. For the first time, I feel release. Before we complete this chapter, I want to say something important. Family goes beyond family ties. Understand and value each other. Self-discovery is a journey. Stand firm and don't plead for a place at a table that wasn't meant for your spirit. I believed for so long that love was something I had to strive for, prove I deserved, and that if I worked hard, was patient, and gave so much of myself, they would notice me and chose me. Took on everything a boy and took on everything. And however, there are times when the bravest choice is to let go and leave what no longer serves you. It's a journey of strength and self-discovery, a path to healing and peace within yourself. Some stories linger in the heart, leaving us with questions we may never answer. That's fine. The genuine way to healing and strength is when you fully accept yourself. May I ask? Have you ever needed to leave a situation or person to maintain your own peace? Have you ever realized that the price of staying may be greater than the freedom of leaving? If this story touched you, please leave a 1 in the comments or contact me. Where are you tuning in from? I love hearing your stories, your journey through life. If you want more meaningful stories that resonate with our common experiences and teach us the values we all hold dear, subscribe to join us. This is just the beginning. We appreciate your presence and remember that prioritizing your personal well-being is an act of love, not selfishness. It's about overcoming our obstacles.